Hi, I'm Ray and welcome back to the channel. In a previous video, you heard me talking about in my teenage years being a military brat and also being transferred with my family to Germany. Well, along with, of course, playing in bands in Germany and enjoying my music experience. There is another dimension to living in Germany that coincided very much with my music journey. And that was simply getting into an interesting career path. I was in Germany a couple of days, went to the local youth center and met a guy, and we got into, a nice little chat about things and music and things happening around the community. When suddenly he looked at his watch and he said, "Oh, I have to go. I have to go to the radio station and do my show." And I went, "Oh, you're on the radio?" He went, "Yeah. I got a show I do Saturday afternoons." And he says, "Do you want to come down and watch?" I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." So we went to the radio station, which was set up for the benefit of military community in Germany. But in any event, it was a pretty cool little radio station. So as soon as we walked in the control room, I saw the equipment and the board and all the stuff, and I went, "I'm doing this. I am doing this." And so, yeah, within 6 months, I was on the air, if you can believe it. Here's me on the air. And eventually I did grow into that nose, by the way. But that was the beginning of a 25-year broadcasting career. Spent 10 years as a disc jockey and then moved into sales and then into management eventually. But it was interesting because I say it coincides with my music journey. It was a natural fit. Always interested in top 40 radio and what I heard and the exciting music of the day, since my introduction to the Beatles and pop music and that sort of thing. So I was always really keen for it. So becoming a disc jockey just immersed me into it. And throughout the years, I worked in various small markets, medium markets in radio, up until I hit the big time in the big city. And, it took a while, but eventually got there. But along the way, I worked with some great people and they went on to bigger and better things as well. But more importantly, I got to meet a lot of my icons in the music industry or recording artists. And, too many to mention, but, one thing in common, once you get over the, being starstruck, your first few times, you kind of get used to it that everybody, we're just people, right? But it was neat being able to talk to them about their journey and how they're progressing, through their careers and some of the challenges that they're facing, but learning a lot along the way. And of course, during this experience, after a number of years, I ended up getting married and starting a family. And as you can appreciate, and some of you were probably in this position as well, when you're young and starting out in your career, you're not making a lot of money. So suddenly, having a talent and being able to play in a cover band is a great way to earn some extra cash to feed your kids, right? So I ended up doing that for many, many years until the kids were grown up. And obviously I still play. But that was a godsend, getting that extra money every month playing really, really helped a lot. And I'm sure you can probably understand or agree with that. In any event, I do have one story in particular. This was, of course, a number of years ago. It was the late 70s. And I was working at a radio station in northern Saskatchewan and played in a cover band. And we had a regular circuit that we did around the area. But I got a call from a hotel in Carrot River, Saskatchewan, very small town. And this was at a time when the Saskatchewan government changed the liquor laws. So they were actually allowing bands or live music to perform in hotels and bars. But the liquor laws were very strange. You could have live bands, but you couldn't dance. No dancing allowed. So, okay. Anyway, it was a chance to play in bars, so why not? So I agreed. Yeah, sure. Let's drive up there. Let's go to Carrot River, Saskatchewan, and we go to the hotel, and we're setting up, and just about to start, and these three huge guys plop down their chairs right in front of us, and I'm kind of looking at these guys, say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" "Yeah, we're the local guys, and we like to check out the band, and if you guys are any good, then, we'll tell everybody to come down here." I thought, okay. So I think at that time we were sort of country band, country act, country rock. So we started off the night with the theme song from the Dukes of Hazzard. Remember that? "Just the Good Old Boys," that song. So we did that song. Of course, they loved us right off the bat because of that. And I think we followed up with "I Love a Rainy Night" or "Driving My Life Away," Eddie Rabbitt, something like that. Anyway, after the second tune, they gave us the thumbs up, got out of their chairs, and the next thing I know, that place is packed. And it's getting more packed throughout the night. These people are hooting and hollering, having a great time. And apparently, I think the occupancy of the room was like 100 people. But towards the end of the night, there's over 300 people in there. And I noticed when you're on stage, of course, you can see the whole room. You can see what's going on everywhere. And I noticed that a couple of RCMP policemen walked through the door, and they were chatting with the manager. And I could see him kind of shaking his head, and they're looking around nervously, and then eventually they leave. And meanwhile, everybody's up on tables and up on the shuffleboard, pounding away, just giving her, having a great old time. And the police leave, and so at the end of the night, I go to the manager after we're packed up to get paid, and I said, "Hey, by the way, couldn't help but notice the police were here. What's going on?" He said, "Well, they came in to say we're over the occupancy for the room, so we're going to have to clear it out." And so I said to the police, "You want to clear it out? You guys clear it out." So the policeman kind of looked around and went, "Okay, well, you just keep it under control, all right?" And they left. But yeah, you know what? It was great. There was no out of control behavior, and then nobody broke anything, and it wasn't crazy. It was just people having a lot of fun. And obviously, those are the gigs you live for. When the crowd is bopping and having a great old time, and then there's no problems. And as a result, that hotel became part of our regular circuit because we just had a ball going there. People really appreciated having bands come in and live music. So one of a million stories that I have playing in cover bands, which we'll get into as further episodes unfold. If you've got a similar story, an experience you had at a gig or with the crowd, or something unusual, why don't you drop it in the comments below? Let me know, and I'll share it with everybody else. And I'm sure we'll all have a good chuckle over that. I'm Ray, and look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.